Life is challenging and difficult. No one gets out alive. Time to suck it up, Buttercup. Get ready for a monster-sized boot aimed to help you get traction on personal change and get living. I am John Curran, your host. Join me as I share my journey, exploring the forces that motivate us to change and help us get through whatever life throws at us. A swift kick in the ass. Life on your terms. Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curran, and today's episode is entitled Cocky Balboa. Necessity makes you brave. And I have to say, this one hits close to home. You're going to learn things about me that maybe you don't want to know. So, and if you have kids around, you might want to maybe take them out of the room or maybe listen to this before. But I guess with a title like Cocky Balboa, if you're going to listen with your kids around, that's up to you. In any case, just picture this, picture kind of a Rocky Balboa character, but he's a cock. And he's up on the steps in Philadelphia, and you can hear the music. Dun, 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 dun. You get the point. And Cocky Balboa makes this speech. He says, life can take some cruel twists, some caused by yours truly. Other twists, though, are handed down to you. I don't care who you think you are. Life is going to do that to you. And life is ultimately going to win whenever you cross that finish line, whenever that is. We don't know. So you've got to straighten up. You've got to take a deep breath. And you've got to make the magic happen. Okay, that's my Cocky Balboa speech. Kind of lighten the mood for what I have to say here. So, this show is about positive change and about the things in your life that impact you that really do change your life. And one of the things that I don't talk about on this show, or I have not talked about in the past, is that I have Peyronie's disease. Now, Peyronie's disease it's non-cancerous. It's not life-threatening. It's nothing you really have to worry about. But it definitely impacts my life. And for those of you who don't know what Peyronie's is, I'm just going to go to urologyhealth.org and kind of speak in some of their terms, or paraphrase, I guess. Peyronie's disease is where plaque, segments of flat scar tissue, form under the skin of the penis. And this plaque causes the penis to bend or become indented during erections. And it can be painful. Yep, it can be painful, and it can interfere with the way it operates. It can cause shrinkage. If your penis is bent, it's obviously not as long, and it can be a difficult thing to live with. Now, most this happens to about 4 out of 10 men. And you see commercials about it, I think, more and more as people recognize that this condition does affect so many men out there. But I think it's good not only for me to kind of, share this about myself as a way of finding my own voice and facing my own terms. But I also look at this as a way to hopefully educate you, strengthen your ability to maybe come to terms, the terms of life that you face that you aren't necessarily comfortable with. But I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about. I don't think this is a bad. I mean, I would prefer not to have it, but as far as other conditions, it's non-life-threatening. It's not a terminal condition like Tommy faced. But boy, it hits you. It hits you right in the groin. So 2020 for me was was a period of life-taking focus, and of course, with this pandemic that's been hitting us, it's really has me thinking a lot about life, and it's created an opportunity for me to kind of sit back and evaluate where I am and where I want to be and the path that I'm on and how I want to change that. So a lot of things kind of took shape for me in 2020. And now 2021, it turns out things are kind of taking alignment. They're lining up. They're straightening up. Cocky Balboa is now a part of my life. And so in order for my treatment, in order to treat Peyronie's disease, I am undergoing a procedure using Xyloflex. It's a medicine that's an enzyme, as I understand it, that will help dissolve the plaque in my penis. Now, I've had Xyloflex in my hands because I'm what you call a perfect storm. I have Dupuytren's contracture. Dupuytren's contracture. I've talked about this on the show before. That's where scar tissue forms on my hands, under my skin, and forms these bands, and will start to pull my fingers down, and I cannot straighten my fingers. I've had to have several surgeries, and I've had this Xyloflex shot into my hand several times now. So I'm familiar with it in my hand. I'll tell you, it is a different story when it is in Cocky Balboa. Now, in order to prepare myself for this procedure, of course, I wanted to educate myself. And I thought, well, maybe there's a site out there. Someone else has gone through this, and I want to, maybe I'll learn some tips that will be helpful. Maybe I need to wear loose clothes. Maybe I need to use frozen peas on my junk, to keep the swelling down. Maybe I need to, I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to do, but I started searching on the internet, and man, I found this picture of a cock. Okay, I don't want to see it, but it looks like it was beat up, and it looked like Rocky Balboa after calling out, "Adrian, give me a steak to put on my eye because it's black and blue, and so is my face, which is on the other side of my nose." And that made no sense, but you get the point. It is tough, man. One of the toughest things I've had to do. I recommend that if you're going in for this procedure, that you probably don't want to educate yourself. Just go through it. Just go with it. But I will say that it's been an experience, and I think that it is strengthening me. It's definitely part of my path. It's not something I wanted to do. I needed to do. I mean, I needed to do it. I didn't really want to do it, but I had no choice. And like I said in the title, necessity makes you brave sometimes. And this is kind of facing your fear, right? You're like, damn, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I really do feel that way now. As you know, I've been meditating on a daily basis. I have found that to be extremely helpful in coping with the grief that I feel from Tommy's death, as well as the death of my father, as well as the stress from everyday life, work, family, relations, friends, the state of the world. You know, it's tough out there. Meditation has helped. And looking out after myself and trying to make myself as healthy as possible, and trying to be the best that I can be, I decided to go forward with this after living with this condition for over 5 years. It was time. It got to a point to where it was too painful to deal with. So I made the decision. I took a deep breath and I moved forward with it. Now, when my dad was taking his last step outside of the house to go to hospice, to die, he knew exactly what was happening. They didn't like it. He would have chose to live, but he didn't have a say in the matter. And I was helping him down the steps to the ambulance to take him to hospice. And I remember this moment vividly, in that he took a step down and you could see the gears turning in his head. He just stood there for a couple seconds. And you could see him thinking. And he took a deep breath. And he kind of like shrugged his shoulders. And he goes, eh. You know, and he took a deep breath and he stepped forward. And he just started walking to the ambulance. And it wasn't until after he had died that I realized, that moment that occurred. He knew exactly what was going on. He accepted the moment. This has nothing to do with him liking it or not. It's the moment. He had to look out after himself and do what he needed to do. And that was what he needed to do. Just like I'm doing this. It's not something I choose. I guess I could choose to live with it and live with the pain, but I don't want to do that. And I don't think you want to live with some of the painful terms of your life. So I hope that this episode, and my just being open and honest about this very delicate and very personal matter, I hope it helps you find strength in living with your terms and coming to terms with the difficult decisions that you must make in your life to get the very best out of life. I'm going to end with a real quote by Rocky Balboa out of the movie, because I think it's really appropriate. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Rocky Balboa and Sylvester Stallone, who I'm a huge fan of, and Tommy and I were huge fans of as kids. In fact, one of the, another personal moment I had, with Tommy, and I just love this memory that I have, is that we were walking out of the theaters after Rocky, and I remember being so pumped, watching Rocky with my best friend. I think I even have the movie guide back, where with Sylvester Stallone on there and the Golden Horn and stuff on. on it, with the gold chain and everything. I loved it. But I could remember how inspiring that was to us back then, and how we wanted, to put up the good fight, and rise to the challenges that life threw at us. Tommy's not able to continue that journey, but I can, and I'm going to. We don't have a Facebook page anymore, so I need to change that, but I wanted to get this episode out to you. And I will talk to you again. Just keep kicking ass, and love and peace. This marks the end of another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass, placing it directly in the can. As much as I like to talk, even I have my limits. It's time to go. Catch me on the next show. For better or worse, whether you like us or not, please leave comments wherever you get your podcasts. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our home on the interweb. I think you can leave me a voicemail there. You can also email me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. It's been my extreme pleasure. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.